Fully Threaded Radio, episode 141.
Our habit here at Fully Threaded is not to waste any moment, and in the very opening moments of FastenerTech 19, I'm standing here with two legends of the industry, and that would be Mr. Charlie Kerr at Kerr Lakeside, and of course, everyone knows Jake Davis. He's with BTM Manufacturing. What's going through your mind right at this moment, Charlie?
While you're interviewing Jake, I'm going to hit his coffee pot. I'll be back in a second.
You can't pass up the U-Bolt blend, so I'd say you already have a success on your hands, Jake.
Absolutely. I'll take it. So that's why we got it.
And some attractive mugs I notice you're sporting too, and I guess that makes up for the lack of Zarfs.
Exactly, yeah. That was an oversight on my part. So, brought the Fully Threaded Radio mugs, and we're ready to go. Ready for the rush.
Well, gentlemen, this is the beginning of a show. It's always kind of got that energy in the air. Are you hoping to achieve anything in particular today on the floor?
No, I'm just here to take it all in and hopefully run into the right people, have some good networking opportunities. I don't have a preset agenda. I don't have anybody in particular that I, have to hook up with. Hopefully there will be people here that I can do that with, but the show just opened 2 minutes ago, so we'll find out in about an hour or so.
Right on. Well, gentlemen, we'll be talking to you throughout the show, and as always, good to see you on the floor of FastenerTech.
Good to see you, Eric.
I'm here with
Mark Klosik at Vertex Distribution.
And Dave Kajanik at Vertex Distribution.
How's the show going, first of all, fellas?
It's pretty good. It started out busy right off the get-go, so that was kind of surprising. We thought it wasn't going to get going till about noon, so it got about a 2-hour jump on it.
Yeah, we get up early in Chicago over here,
Typically it should.
So tell me, do tariffs affect you guys at all?
They're really affecting us. I mean, especially with the new ones going into effect. I mean, think about this. All our Kahlua, our tequila, and our Corona from Mexico is going to be tariffed another 25%.
You're right. I didn't think of it that way. But that is true, yes. So
plus the avocados.
Yeah. It's time for Fully Threaded Radio.
It is Fully Threaded Radio, voice of the FCH Sourcing Network. If you buy, sell, manufacture, import, distribute industrial fasteners, this is the podcast for you, everyone. We're glad you clicked in. Eric Dudas with you here, and the co-host of Fully Threaded Radio is with me as well. He's been spanning the Midwest lately, folks, to bring you today's episode. He's Brian Musker. You doing all right, Brian?
Yes, I am, and I'm sort of ready to stop spanning, actually. Actually, my next span is spanning continents, but that's a different story.
That's right. You're on your way over to Australia right after we get done recording, but again, that is a different story, and we'll have to pick that up on the next episode. This episode, boy, we've got a lot to cover, related mostly to all these spring fastener industry events we've been attending. There's a lot to cover, Bri.
I know, and it's really good to sort of sit back at your own desk and have a chance to chill out and do the work you'd have to do for a change. Catch-up work, I guess.
I think a lot of people in the audience feel the same way. However, if you stayed back at the shop or the warehouse during all of the recent shows and events, you'll find today's podcast interesting as well, everybody. We'll bring you up to speed on what's going on this episode 141 of Fully Threaded Radio. This time we're publishing on June 13th, 2019. I guess in summary, Bri, we could say that this episode of the podcast could actually make a pretty good drinking game because anytime the word tariff is uttered, if you took a drink, I think you'd be feeling pretty good by the time we wrap it up.
Oh, you'd be looking for a chair to sit down. Okay. We heard that discussed ad nauseum, I guess would be the correct definition.
There were really two main themes at Fastener Fair USA and FastenerTech 19 this year, everybody. And they were, of course, the tariffs. The headlines were shifting as these events took place. And the other big one was simply the saturation of shows and events in the industry. The people who actually head out to these shows and set up their booths, they're feeling a little bit of fatigue, I'd have to say, Bri.
Mm-hmm. And yes, your hosts are among those, actually.
Well, that's true to a certain extent. I mean, let's be fair. They're very productive for the most part, and they're a lot of fun, but they're also a lot of work. And when they stack up one on top of another, yeah, you look around eventually and you say, well, we have to follow up on all these leads we're developing, right?
Right. I mean, the fact is that even no matter what the show is, there's a chance to go and meet gazillions of your customers and members, and they're either walking the aisles or they're behind their own booths. And so you get a chance to see them before the show opens and then after it's shut down for the evening. So there's great reasons to go to these shows.
And as always, the lovely and talented Lynn Dempsey was with us on site at Fastener Fair USA and FastenerTech this year, everyone. We came back from the show floors with a ton of interviews, so many names from the industry. I guess we'll just let them roll, and those are the feature segments on today's podcast. There was also a big headline that was, I guess, announced on the second day of FastenerTech, Brian, and everyone was talking about this, and that is that Marc Strandquist, who has been with Worth for something on the order of 20 years, a frequent contributor to Fully Threaded Radio, made the announcement that he is moving on after a very successful career with that company.
Yes, that was a little bit of buzz, actually, at the FastenerTech.
He's got a lot of fans in this industry. I had the chance to sit down with him in Cincinnati at the NFDA annual meeting to get a little bit of detail on that. We're actually going to run that here in just a few moments, put it right at the top of the show, and then we're going to let these interviews fly. We've got the first chunk is from Fastener Fair USA, and the group that will play after Mike McNulty's news report recaps FastenerTech 19. On the Fastener News Report today, joining Mike McNulty will be Steve Andrasik of Brighton Best International. They'll cover the May FDI numbers. Little good news, little bad news this time, Bri.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so bad, but you won't want to miss it, everybody. Plus, we'll be announcing the results of this year's MWFA golf outing and the winner of this year's MWFA Fully Threaded Radio Golf Prize.
Yeah, some prize.
It's legendary. So a little bit of an unorthodox show today, everyone, but I think it does a good job of capturing the pulse of the industrial fastener industry as of June 2019. And as of that same date, we have a fantastic lineup of sponsors. Brian, please let us know who they are.
Right. The title sponsors of Fully Threaded Radio are Steadfast and Brighton Best International. Steadfast, for service you deserve and people you trust. Brighton Best International, tested, tried and true. Also sponsoring Fully Threaded Radio are Buckeye Fasteners, BTM Manufacturing, Eurolink Fastener Supply Service, InSequel Software, International Fastener Expo, ND Industries, Parker Fasteners, Volt Industrial Plastics, The Worth Group, and Solution Industries, home of Solution Man, and some other men.
And women, too.
Yeah, I know.
Solution Industries join Wi-Fi at FastenerTech, Bri. Corporate members, the newest ones.
Yes, I remember John coming around especially to tell us that, actually.
Yeah, actually, that has turned into a slight controversy as well, because John was under the impression that he was the first male full member of Wi-Fi, but I ran that up against what Pam Berry, one of the founders of Wi-Fi, thought, and she wasn't quite sure of that, so we're not going to report that headline quite yet.
Oh, okay. Right.
We'll keep on the story.
And we were lucky. We saw plenty of our sponsors actually at both of the shows, so it's a good chance to get and talk to them.
That's true. I tell you, Jake showed up from BTM Manufacturing with a truckload of U-Bolt blend coffee. And I don't know, man, I think I made a pretty good dent in the coffee pot over in his booth. Thank goodness he showed up with all that.
I think you put a very considerable dent. I think you might have actually run out of coffee.
Well, he made a lot of people happy with the U-Bolt blend, and I think he's got a hit on his hands.
Right. Even I had refills, and it's very good.
Hey, everyone, get with us anytime. We enjoy hearing your comments and questions, suggestions, and so forth. The email address is ftr@fullythreaded.com, and the Twitter handle is fullythreaded. Well, Bri, we're going to jump to the interview with Marc Strandquist in pretty short order and then right into the Fastener Fair USA conversations that Lynn had on the show floor right after that. But before we get into that, was there anything in particular that stuck out for you in Detroit? I mean, you were very excited to go there. It was one of the few cities on the planet that you hadn't made it to yet.
Right, and I'm glad I went. It was great. And, we had a pretty good hotel, and you could look over the river and see Canada on the other side, and the big GM Center just up the road from us. But one of the reasons that I was interested in going to Detroit is that I found out that there was a set of murals that were painted in the Detroit Institute of Art by a guy who probably isn't known that much now, a guy called Diego Rivera, who's very famous in Mexico. And he lived in the US for a few years, mainly under contract. Henry Ford paid really to have him paint the murals in the Institute of Art, Detroit Institute of Art. And they're sort of pretty famous. He was fairly involved in the whole Marxism thing, and a lot of his paintings had a sort of Marxist communist influences, and they became not very popular in the 40s and 50s and from then on. And so...
Right, they all had that labor movement feel to them.
Oh, yeah, he was right. That's how he sort of got into the Marxist thing. He was sort of involved in the whole area of, militant unionism, okay?
Right. I guess that makes the connection with Detroit make sense to me. I never knew that before. So what, you made it over to the museum and spent the afternoon there before the show? Was that it?
Yeah, and they're very, very impressive. He painted another set for Rockefeller, for the Rockefeller Center in New York, and when they were unveiled, had a big picture of Lenin in the middle of it, and Rockefeller had them all painted over. Now it would be an unfortunate fact, but at the time he was furious that Rivera would actually do that. But these ones, and they're really quite profound. I mean, they're like 30 feet high and 60 feet wide. They're big paintings and all sorts of things relating to manufacturing cars, and he spent a lot of time at the Ford assembly plant, and then he took his drawings away and painted these murals. They're quite famous. It was a very good start to the show in Detroit for me.
Well, you mentioned the GM Center, and of course the welcome bash took place in the lobby of the GM Center, and that was very well put together, very well attended. The band was excellent, if a little loud for the conversations that we were trying to have at that time, but that's par for the course. But the cars on display in that lobby, as you'd expect, absolutely amazing, including some of the next generation cars, if you want to even call them cars anymore. I don't know what we call these things, but transportation machinery.
Right. Yeah, this is GM's worldwide headquarters, so it's a pretty impressive sort of building.
Well, that was Fastener Fair USA, which happened May 22nd and 23rd. Again, right after this interview with Marc Strandquist, we'll get into the on-the-floor interviews. So why don't we get to that interview right now, Bri?
Well, I think we should.
Big news from our friend Marc Strandquist. NFDA annual summer meeting. We're in Cincinnati. Marc Strandquist, some news broke when we were at FastenerTech recently, and you have a lot of fans in this industry, so they were buzzing all about it. What happened?
Well, thanks, Eric. I appreciate the opportunity to chat with you. No, it's just time in my career to move on and do something different. The Worth Group has been great to me, and I really appreciate all the opportunities. But as things evolve, it was a chance for me to go do something different and wish the company well and looking forward to further opportunities. I'm going to take the summer to relax a little bit, and then jump right back in it. And I want to stay in the fastener industry. I haven't decided really yet if I want to favor the distribution side or the manufacturing side, but I do love the business and been in it for over 30 years now. I have a lot of broad experience that I think can bring some value to someone, and so I'm pretty excited. The future's bright.
100%. And you walk into the room here tonight, and I tell you talk to just about everybody in the room, and I noticed that for a change, your badge just says Marc on it. That was kind of a change.
Yeah, I'm just representing myself now. So, but a lot of good people here at the NFTA. It's been an excellent organization for so long, and the people, I just think the world of them, and I thought it was a good opportunity with everybody gathered together. Just stop by and say hi and stay in touch with everybody and continue to network and do all the things that bring value, being a member of the NFTA. But as of today or tonight, I'm just here representing myself.
Now, tomorrow morning, of course, we have a whole day of conference activities and so forth, and that starts off with the past presidents and officers meeting, and I'm sure you'll be participating in that. And thanks for your service to the NFDA, and looks like we've got a really good schedule ahead. I have to point out also that you did not attend FastenerTech, and so you didn't see a lot of the people chatting in the aisles about your big news. I saw it personally out there on LinkedIn, and a lot of people that I talked to were wondering how you were doing health-wise. You look great, and a lot of people were concerned about you, and so congratulations on kind of making it through your traumatic period there, but you look great, and I know whatever the future brings for you, you're going to come out on top.
Well, thanks, Eric. I had a kidney transplant last year in August, and things have gone really well, and feeling better all the time, and it's been a very humbling experience, when you talk about people giving you feedback and people staying in touch. You really get to know who your friends are, and many of them are within the fastener industry. But a lot of people stayed in touch. A lot of good people, put out their thoughts and prayers, and but we're past it, and looking forward to the bright future. And it really makes you appreciate the people in the industry when you get that kind of support and follow through.
Well, just in closing here, I just want to point out that in your message on LinkedIn, you noted a word of thanks to Renee, your longtime, what do we want to call her, your boss? No, your assistant. Yep. And I tell you, I had the opportunity to meet her on a couple of occasions, and so if she gets a chance to hear this, I don't know if I'll see her again, but thanks for helping me out those couple of times, Renee, and you did a great job with this gentleman, Marc Strandquist, and it's good to know we're going to be seeing and hearing from you some more in the future.
Thanks, Eric. I do appreciate it, and yes, and I certainly appreciate Renee. When I first started with the Worth Group back in October of 2001, she was the first person I saw coming through the door, and she's been supporting me ever since, and I'd be lost without her. As it is, it feels lonely every day not calling and checking in with her.
Well, that's the story here at the NFDA, and once again, we'll be hearing more from Mr. Marc Strandquist in the future. We'll be back in just a minute with more Fully Threaded Radio.
Talk radio for the fastener industry. It's not really all that bad for the most part. Brian and Eric, Fully Threaded Radio.
Need fasteners? Fully Threaded Radio listeners know that StealthFast offers over 12,000 fastener items direct from stock, including bolts, cap screws, nuts, screws, and washers in a variety of finishes. Per print, specials, and standards, StealthFast has been a global sourcing leader since 1972. As an ISO-certified supplier with facilities across North America and Asia, each member of the StealthFast team is dedicated to supporting fastener distributors with the highest quality products and service possible. That's why the motto remains, for service you deserve and people you trust, it's StealthFast.
At Brighton Best, we continue to expand our wide range of products, including stainless steel and metric fasteners. Our family of brands include Preferred, U.S. Anchor, and Ironclad Performance Wear. BBI has been a trusted partner since 1925. With award-winning hand tools, gloves, and drywall screws, BBI is the largest master distributor of fasteners in the USA. Tested, tried, and true. We are Brighton Best. To learn more about Brighton Best, visit brightonbest.com.
Hey mates, Brian Muscat. Regardless of the required size, material or finish, Eurolink has the European resources to meet your demands for hard-to-find metric fasteners. We're the one-stop source for all of your metric needs, saving you time and money searching for these parts while fulfilling all of your requirements. How do we do it? Eurolink offers access to more than 100,000 quality C-class parts with the ability to solve your toughest metric fastener supply issues every time. Hard-to-find metric fasteners delivered. Just think of us as your heavy metal rock stars. To learn more about how we can rock your world or request a hassle-free quote online, visit EurolinkFSS.com. That's EurolinkFSS.com.
Hi, this is John Riddell from Solution Industries, and you are listening to Fully Threaded Radio.
Well, I'm back with Melissa Magistro. Seems like just a year ago we were in Cleveland doing something similar. Hi, good morning, Melissa.
Good morning. We're so happy to have you and everybody here in Detroit.
Well, I walked the show floor. It hasn't started yet. You're getting ready for the ribbon cutting ceremony, and let me tell you, it looks sensational.
Thank you so much. We're so excited that the show floor is bigger than last year by about 12%. So there's more exhibitors, there's more attendees. We're really excited to be here in Detroit and welcoming all the manufacturing community that's around here.
Now, who's going to be cutting this ribbon?
Well, we've got our advisory board as well as me, so I'll be in charge of the big scissors, but I'm really excited to have our advisory board up there supporting us as well.
Okay, well, we're going to be here documenting this. Don't cut yourself with those big scissors. They look sharp.
They definitely are. They're real scissors, yeah.
I'm here with
Heidi Voltrauer with Volt Industrial Plastics.
And we don't usually see you at shows, and here you are. How wonderful.
Yes, well, we went last year to Cleveland. We had a great turnout at that show. We were so busy for the 2 days of the show. So I thought I'd give Detroit a try, and also I want to see what Detroit was all about. I've never been to Detroit. Yeah.
And how do you find the show?
I think it was a great show. Yesterday we were busy. Today's a little slower, but that's per usual, you know, with the shows.
With the shows.
Yeah.
So what is new over at Volt? What can you tell me?
Well, we have added a product line, a light-duty cable clamp, so that's our newest product line. I mean, we're adding product every day, every month. We're adding products, and they're all on our website. Our whole catalog's on our website. But as far as new, that's our newest product line, our cable clamps.
Diversification is very important,
yeah,
huh? And give me that website's URL.
VoltPlastics.com.
Thank you, Heidi. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Jeremy Gethman, Solution Industries.
All right, Jeremy. And, of course, about the show, I know you guys have had a lot of business because you're over here right across from our booth. But what else have you noticed about the show?
Well, they've got the numbers on the ground, which is great because everyone can see where the booths are, and you can find the people you're looking for.
And that's absolutely true. How about the mix?
I think it's a good mix. We only sell to distributors, so we've seen a lot of our distributor customers. But for a lot of our customers who are walking the show, there's a lot of OEMs here for them to talk to as well. And anyone who's interested in metal coatings and raw materials, there's plenty of those suppliers here as well.
How many shows are you guys going to do this year?
This year we will actually do 3 shows, this being one of them. We're also going to do FastenerTech, and we're going to do the Vegas show.
Do tariffs affect you?
Absolutely, every single day.
Every single day?
Every single day.
So what are you doing?
So what we're doing is we're trying to find other countries of origin to buy product that doesn't have the same tariff as the China material. But, of course, sometimes that's not possible, and in those cases we look at buying more or running more product or offering a stock and release program to help offset the increased cost to our customer.
And so let's say we solve the tariff problem, and so for 2020, let's say tariffs are taken off the table. What do you think the industry's biggest challenge is going to be?
I think it'll be trying to stabilize the pricing because the tariffs have gotten mixed up with the increases in steel pricing, and there just seems to be a very muddled kind of idea of what the true cost of material going up or down is. And I think there will be a lot of pressure to try to force the prices to go down because the end users will say, well, now that this tariff's off the table, everything should go back to normal.
And that's what I would say, but that's probably like my real estate taxes, right?
Right. So I think we'll see, if the tariffs stabilize, I think we'll see a lot of pressure from kind of the top down for prices to go down. And, if things start to slow down a bit, all the factories overseas are going to want to stay busy, so they probably will lower their prices a little bit.
Have you had trouble with domestic steel raising their prices?
For us, we've seen it. Our domestic mix is, we definitely still buy some domestic products, so we have seen that a lot of our domestic manufacturers have kind of been forced to raise their prices just based on their, anywhere they're buying it here, they obviously are paying a much higher price.
Okay. I know I've talked a lot about the tariffs around to everybody, and I know some people are saying that they are doing a surcharge to show them what the tariff is, and then that surcharge will leave when tariffs go away. That's a good way, or it sounds like a one-way.
I would say it depends where you're buying the product from. The challenge we've seen is obviously our customers sometimes want to know that number, but if we're buying the product off the shelf, it's kind of hard to know exactly how much of that increase is from a tariff or just from the cost of steel or the other things that are factors that are attributing to that increase. We can do that when we're importing the material ourselves, but that kind of makes it tough for us as far as across the board being able to provide that information.
Yeah, so I see. You're right. 2020 is going to be the challenge if tariffs are off the table, the pricing. Thank you for talking with me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Josh Winkler, Eurolink Fastener Supply Service.
So, what do you think about the show?
It's been pretty good. It was really busy the first day. Had a couple good hours here the second day. Good to put some faces with some names of some customers that we sell to and get out of the office for a little bit and meet some people.
How did you like the organization of the show?
I thought it was very well ran. It was really well put together, good marketing, getting stuff out in front of people ahead of time.
You like the numbers on the carpet? That was like my number one thing.
Yeah, that was good. It definitely shows because we covered up our signs for where we're at here with all of our display stuff. So that was good to let people know how to find us.
And the second thing, my biggest thing, just a little thing, but it's the little things that just drive you nuts, is that it didn't cost me $100 for a wastebasket.
Yeah.
So that was little things that make you happy.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lynn.
Okay. See. All right. I am here with
Bill Boak, Vice President of Unbraco.
And Patrick Giannetti. I'm the Marketing Manager for Ernest Machine.
And I happened to get a pair of socks yesterday from you guys. It was a great giveaway, but they don't match. What's going on with that?
Well, we think they match perfectly. We actually think that it's the perfect pair. We're announcing that Ernest Machine as the master distributor for Unbraco products for the United States.
Wow. Unbraco, what do you say?
It's a big deal. It's something that's we're going to be very good for both companies. Their service level and inventory locations are going to assist greatly in growing the business.
Right. This is a master distributor relationship. So Ernest Machine services industrial distribution only, and mostly fastener distributors out of our Indianapolis distribution facility and Atlanta distribution facility. So Unbraco kind of faced a little bit of a hurdle having the bulk of their inventory out on the West Coast, which was being a challenge to ship it into the East Coast or the Midwest. So we're overcoming that problem with this relationship.
The majority of the socket screw business is east of the Mississippi. So this will greatly assist from a location standpoint.
Expand you guys.
Absolutely. We're working very hard to reignite the brand name of Unbraco, and the Ernest Machine Group has a great marketing staff that can assist us doing that.
Now, if I can just bring you guys into, let's talk about the fastener industry. Anybody want to try to guess what the FDI might be in December of 2019? 6 months from now? Anybody want to guess?
Boy,
what do you
I don't
think?
know. You hear all of the economists saying that we're preparing for a downturn in the economy. we haven't really seen it yet from the distribution side. Things have been great for the past really 3 years, going strong for us. We see it kind of holding steady. We haven't seen too much fluctuation. We know that it did dip down, was it last month or 2 months ago?
Just a tad.
Then, just a tad, bounced right back up again. So
I've talked to many associates I've known for many years here in the manufacturing side of the business, and their backlogs are very strong still. So that's a very good sign.
Okay.
Some of them, to a point where they've got a lot of past dues. So,
Gentlemen, thank you for talking with me.
thank you.
Rosa Hearn from Women in the Fastener Industry.
Yes, Rosa, tell us about that 10-year anniversary.
Oh my gosh, we were so honored to be announced at the Fastener Fair USA. We had a mentoring and network programming that was done literally at the last minute, and it was well attended. And also we're celebrating it by playing bingo here at Fastener Fair. So you get a pair of gloves, a pair of socks, and a pink bracelet. And so everybody's really gravitating to that and meeting all of our sponsors.
How fabulous is that? So tell us what's on the horizon for the next year, 2020.
Well, this is actually my last year being at Wi-Fi. Oh. So yes, I already served 2 terms. So we're hoping in December, the new president and the new chairman will just make it bigger and better.
That's great. Well, thank you for being chairman of Wi-Fi these last 2 years. You've really brought up the organization, and good luck. And 10 years is a long time.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm here with
Dave Audia with GL Hewitt.
All right. Best thing about the show?
Best thing about the show is, you can see a lot of our customers, like from this region, Ohio, Michigan, all in one shot. We've got our guy from Columbus with us that handles those regions, so it's a good opportunity for him to touch base with them.
How many shows are you doing this year?
Oh boy, probably at least, if you include the regionals, at least 8.
Wow,
right.
That's a lot of shows.
It is. We have a regional sales manager team across the United States. They're all involved with the associations, like the NCFA and the MWFA. So, we do all of those tabletops and support those, as well as the big ones like this in Vegas.
Okay. So you have 8 different shows. What did you notice different about this one than the other 8? Even if it's just a little thing.
Yeah, I think the attendance for these tends to be, or at least it seems here to be, a little bit more regional, a little more focused on where the show's being held, even though I know this is a global event and a lot of the suppliers are from all over. It seems the attendees are more localized, so that's why we brought our local guy to make sure that he could participate in this. That's what we're seeing.
All right. Oh, that's great. How about tariffs? Let's get into some hard stuff. Tariffs, are those affecting your business?
Oh, very much so. We are a master stock distributor. We stock a lot of domestic items, but we also, to remain competitive, obviously, we bring in a lot of stuff from China, India, and whatnot. And this recent round has really hurt. We've been able to deflect as best as possible, the first round or the first couple of rounds. But this latest one, there's just, and we're hearing the same thing from anybody else, it's just you have to pass it along. There's just no way around it. But, again, it's just the unknown. That's been the toughest part of this. I don't think, once we know what's going to happen, everybody can deal with it. It's just that unknown that we're just not really sure right now.
Yeah. All right. Great talking with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm here with
Joanne Bialas, International Fasteners, Inc.
Joanne, how's the show going?
It's okay. Second day is usually pretty rough at all of these shows.
How many shows are you going to go to this year?
Oh, too many. We try to support as many as we can, but, this is just one more show, so it's getting tough. But springtime, nobody's home in the spring anymore in the fastener industry.
Yeah. That is true, and you're not alone in saying that. All right, so let's switch to industry stuff. What do you think is going to be the new challenge in 2020 for the fastener industry?
I think overall, whether it's a custom product or a standard product, or if it's an import or domestically manufactured, I just continue to see the big issue being price. And, we're going to a world where, price matters, and that seems to be the only thing that matters. And it scares me because there's always been more to price, and we're getting away from it.
Why do you think we're going that way?
Well, I think it's the instant gratification, call it millennials, call it whatever you want to call it. Everybody calls it something differently. But, and I'm guilty. I have an Amazon account. I admit it, but even when I'm shopping on Amazon, I'm not just looking at the price. I'm looking at when is it available and is this a reputable seller? But I feel like as we click, that's all we're looking for is click, price. Click, price. And it's scary as a generation where we're evolving to.
Is there going to be an Amazon effect in the fastener industry?
We're already starting to see that more and more, even because we have a lot of standard product, commodity-driven product, and it's showing up on, we've had here at this show someone who's an eBay seller looking for more fasteners to sell on eBay. So it's eBay, it's Amazon, and all they've got is price. That's it. That's what they're selling it on.
Can you give us any kind of solutions, anything that you guys are doing?
Right now, we did just launch a new website trying to appeal to the clickers and get more advanced, but we're still trying to maintain enough control where we can still be more than just price.
Things to think about. Thank you for talking with me.
Great to see you as always.
Morgan Rudolph, Rick Rudolph Associates.
And Morgan, did you attend a lecture at the Fastener Fair?
Yes, I did. I saw B2B digital transformation.
And what were they telling you at B2B?
Pretty much explaining the benefits of e-commerce and how to set up online website. And most people use their cell phones more than their laptops or desktops now. And how important it is mobile is going to be the future for B2B e-commerce.
And that's true because even when we've done our SEO stuff and everything, they keep saying mobile.
Yep, that's pretty much what he was pushing, how important that is. And he showed the contrast between getting a website on your phone that isn't mobile and how it's not very user-friendly.
And it is true. That's the way we're going, everything mobile.
Yeah, that's going to be the future. That's what they're saying.
So do you think there's an Amazon effect?
Yeah, Amazon is very popular, and everybody uses Amazon, so they're kind of the leader, the pioneers in the mobile B2B e-commerce community.
And as Rudolph Associates being reps, are you guys more worried about Amazon?
Not really, because one thing the lecturer did state that the e-commerce really is going to work hand in hand with reps because people still require, even though it's very handy to use e-commerce, they still need like face-to-face personal relationships with their customers.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Enjoy your time at the show.
Oh, thank you very much. It was great talking to you.
All right. I am here with
Jackie Ventura, Ventura Industrial Products.
Hey, Jackie, did you attend any of our sessions?
I did. I was able to attend the Disruption Affecting Distributors session that we had yesterday morning.
What did the panel decide was the biggest disruption or one of the disruptions?
Well, there were several things, but I think the one that stood out most to me was the discussion about Amazon, whether Amazon will disrupt the fastener industry or whether Amazon will not affect the fastener industry.
And what did the panel decide?
Well, one panelist felt that it was going to be a significant disruption and they would be coming after the fastener market wholeheartedly, and another panelist felt that the fastener industry was not a large enough market for Amazon to be concerned with. So
50-50?
It was 50-50, yeah. I would say that's a good way to put it. So I would have to say that it was interesting because the panelists were divided on the subject and they had differing opinions, and it certainly gave you a lot to think about whether the industry will be disrupted by Amazon or not.
Okay, and being a rep, do you think Amazon will disrupt the reps?
Well, I've talked with a couple of people about that, and at one point years ago I heard that the rep industry was going to be replaced by the internet, and interestingly enough, there are numerous people that are still looking for reps, and there are people at the show actively looking for reps, so I think that personal touch is still a requirement in the industry, and people like to deal face-to-face, regardless of how easy the internet and Amazon purchasing makes things.
Well said. Thank you, Jackie.
You're welcome.
I am here with
Mike Newman, All-American Washer Works, Mundelein, Illinois.
All right. Best thing about the show?
The best thing about the show is, I would say in the first 2 hours, we had nothing but solid contacts.
Okay, good. And we're hoping for a good second day?
We're hopeful.
Okay. How about your thoughts on the tariffs? If I asked you 2 words to describe tariffs, what would you say?
They're about 50 years too late.
No.
And we have a lot of pain coming.
Thank you, Mike. Holy moly.
All right.
Clifford Fain, Edward W. Daniel, LLC.
How do you like the show?
So far, it's been a little slow, but the overall appearance of it was pretty good.
How many shows are you going to do this year?
This year, we got 3. We've got Fastener Fair, FastenerTech, and the IFE in Vegas. Yes.
Everybody goes to Vegas,
yes,
right?
Yes.
All right. Your thoughts about tariffs. Are tariffs affecting your business?
Yes, they are. I'm not directly involved with them, but I know they're affecting us because we're having some back and forth conversation with some of our material that we import in from China. So we are being affected by it.
Has business been good?
Business has been steady. So we haven't had a drop in business because of it, but we might see some fallout later on once it gets fully in place.
So what are your predictions for December 2019?
Oh, God.
What do you think's going to happen?
I say we should hold steady. I don't think we're going to have an increase or a decrease. I think we'll probably stay steady. I think we have some loyal customers out there that'll still stay with us.
I'm here with
Tim Coffey, Stanley Industries.
All right. Best thing about the show?
The people. It was very well attended, and we got a lot of leads, and it's a great location, and it was just fantastic.
How many shows is your company going to do this year?
This is our first show, actually.
Oh, all right. Are you going to do any more?
I'm sure we will after our success at this one.
Okay. Fabulous. All right.
J.R. Prahl from JHP Fasteners.
And JR, I don't usually see you at shows, so what are you doing here?
No, we don't usually attend the show. We're located in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and the show in Vegas is just a little bit too far away to get a lot of people to really get some exposure. Even though we're a small shop, a lot of our guys are really into fasteners. Even our warehouse guys, they always want to learn more. And I said, you know what? Fastener Fair is coming to Detroit. I think that's the time. So I actually brought a crew of 3 people yesterday, brought 3 more today, and we're excited to take on this day and see what the show has to offer.
Yeah. It's sort of like the big picture training, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And some of these guys may never have to deal with it from the sales side. They may be in the warehouse forever, but we love to have everyone get a good overview of the industry, and it just really ingrains it into how they operate every day and the care they have for the customers and how they pack product and things like that. And sometimes they even pick up something new here even for the warehouse.
Wonderful. All right, so now let's get into the show. Since you don't usually attend shows, what did you think of, organization and time and everything like that?
I feel like, off the cuff, the organization was great. It seems well organized. There's a lot of people that are here, or a lot of mills here. A lot of importers looking for new people, new distributors to import. So it was kind of surprising to me. I've heard that the NIFS show has way more of those companies, importers, than there are at this one. But yeah, for me, that was kind of a surprise to see that.
How about the organization? Did you like the way it was set up, walking through the aisles?
Yeah, I like the way it was laid out, and I've heard that at some point in history, even at the NIFS show, like the importers were separated from everybody else. I kind of like how here there's, they're kind of strewn about a little bit, and there's a little bit of a break up there, and I thought the layout was good. Everything seemed to flow pretty well, and yeah, from show perspective, I thought it was good.
So let's get back to industry questions here, or not get back, but let's go to industry questions, okay? Tariffs, are they bothering your business at all?
In a very small way. We have not seen a dramatic impact of that, and we're a little different than a lot of folks. We don't deal in a tremendous amount of general fasteners. and we do sell a lot of product that is domestic and also made in Taiwan. Overall, I'd have to say it has not been a huge impact for us, just to be honest.
Oh, and that's perfectly fine. 2019, what is your biggest challenge then?
2019 biggest challenge. We've always been a relatively small company. When I started, we were 4 people. Now we're up to 11, and we're continuing to grow at a higher rate of speed. So it's really just making sure that internally, it's really not an issue with product or product delivery or getting product on time. It's just a matter of growing as a company to handle that type of influx. When you're smaller, everyone wears a lot of different hats, and as we grow larger, we try to have more division of labor, and it's sometimes hard to swallow that. I don't want to do those things anymore, or I do want to do those things anymore, and now you can't. And so just figuring out how to grow from a small company into a larger company, that's our biggest challenge. But one of the things we really don't want to lose is that small company attitude. We're very tight, like a family. Even like Industrial Rivet, like their slogan is "Family is our fastener." We feel the very same way about the way we operate. We all care about each other. We all help each other out.
Oh, that's great. JR, thank you.
Thank you, Len.
Baron Yarborough with Spring Bolt and Nut Manufacturing.
And we're heading to go find the other fastener Viking, Craig, from Eurolink, to take a picture. But tell me, how was the show?
It was a great show. We did have a slowdown a bit on the second day, but great attendance, especially the first day. Good traffic, great educational things going on, and just an overall great time, especially at the Bash.
At the Bash. Tell me about the Bash.
Well, had live music, great drinks, and just an overall good time. Great networking spot.
It's always a great networking spot. Liquor and then a place for everybody to hang out, that's always good.
Always makes a great time for talking.
ND Industries has been solving customers' toughest problems through innovative technologies, competitive pricing, and industry-leading service since 1955. A family-owned business, ND Industries manufactures and applies fastener locking, bonding, sealing, masking, and assembling products. Their pre-application process makes fasteners ready to use at the point of assembly, resulting in reduced labor costs, time savings, and superior quality assurance. As a fully integrated company, ND handles all aspects of operations, from formulating custom chemical compounds and coating fasteners to providing inline inspection, packaging, and delivery services. ND Industries serves the global market with 13 divisions in the continental U.S. and also facilities in Taiwan, China, and Turkey. Learn more about ND Industries at our website at www.ndindustries.com. ND Industries, innovative technologies, competitive pricing, and industry-leading service. Contact ND today.
Harry, now that you use InSequel software, how do you like it?
InSequel has delivered. They truly are written for fastener distributors. It's affordable and their support staff is great.
We found InSequel's support staff has depth. They know our industry, and they certainly know their software. I see they've helped you pronounce InSequel.
Yes, but what does InSequel mean? Is it written in SQL? Is the data stored in SQL? Are they located in SQL?
InSequel uses the industry standard Microsoft SQL database, which is why it's so powerful and easy to use.
Oh, the database is stored in SQL. I don't even know where that is. I hear it's a nice place.
Harry, InSequel uses a SQL database because it's current technology and your data is completely accessible. No more expensive custom reports.
Is that why InSequel is so easy to use? Where is SQL on the map?
One of their many support members will help you answer that. Go to their website, www.inxsql.com, or call toll-free 877-446-9775.
Hey, sport, you don't look so good.
Man, all this walking at the Fastener Show is wearing me out. I don't know if I can keep going.
I think I have just a thing to help you out, son. Have you ever heard of Old Rusty Bolt beer?
No, what is it?
Why, it's only the tastiest, most refreshing, ice-coldest beer around. The amber goodness of Old Rusty Bolt beer is enough to jumpstart any weary fastener salesman.
I'll try one. Wow, I feel better already. Hey, mister, what's that name again?
Old Rusty Bolt beer, brought to you by the fine folks at Buckeye Fasteners and the Ohio Nut and Bolt Company.
Old Rusty Bolt, that's the name, that name again, Old Rusty Bolt.
Buckeye Fasteners, more than just weld.
Hey, this is Clayton Allen from Buckeye Fasteners in Cleveland, Ohio, and you're listening to Fully Threaded Radio.
Brian and Eric back with you, having more fun than a barrel full of Stelfast monkeys.
Oh, but which color?
As usual, I couldn't get any intel on that at the shows this year, Bri.
I'll bet you couldn't.
The Stelfast people do a good job of keeping a lid on that one. Of course, they always say that they themselves don't know, but I don't know if I believe that.
Right.
Well, we just heard back-to-back interviews from the floor of Fastener Fair USA in Detroit. I think you understand now what we said at the top of the show, that the themes are pretty well established. Number one, we have quite a bit of ambivalence related to these tariffs. And also, well, I guess you could say the same thing about the number of trade events that fastener professionals are faced with in the spring.
Right. Well, this spring in particular.
My guess will be that something will shake out eventually. Mike McNulty's coming up in a few moments with the Fastener News Report. He'll be joined by Steve Andrasik to discuss the FDI numbers. The sponsor of the Fastener News Report, as always, is Volt Industrial Plastics. And the title sponsors of Fully Threaded Radio are Stelfast and Brighton Best International. Hey, Bri, after the news, we're going to hear a whole mess of interviews from FastenerTech. And following FastenerTech was the annual MWFA golf outing, which you and I, again, successfully avoided.
Very, very successfully, I might say.
Yeah, you just don't have the wardrobe for it is the thing, right?
Well, I'd look pretty pale compared to George Hunt III. I have to say that, though he probably was a little more toned down this year, I think.
Yeah, I haven't seen the photos yet, but I bet you're right. However, whatever he did, this is the big news, the news before the news, Bri. Okay. Whatever he did, and considering that last time he was on the podcast explaining his prowess on the greens, or lack thereof, he provided enough spiritual ammunition to his teammates to propel Team GH3 into first place at the MWFA Golf Outing 2019.
God, I shouldn't have been making my comments then. So
that's right. Bite your tongue.
Right.
Now you're probably asking yourself, okay, who are his teammates?
Okay, so who are his teammates? I'm asking you, actually.
Yes, well, I got these from Nancy Rich over at the MWFA. George was shooting with Colin and Chris Brooks and Pete Christensen, all from Packer Fasteners up there in Wisconsin. So first place was Team GH3. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Wow.
You turned out to be a formidable foursome because in second place was the two-time reigning champs. And you know who that is, Bri. At least you know one guy on the team.
I do. Guy I was talking to at the show, Rob.
That's right. In sequels, Rob Reynolds. He's a big gun out there, always off the tee. And this time he was joined by Kevin Chavez and Mr. Brian Wheeler, both of Star Stainless. Plus, here was kind of the dark horse on that foursome, Bri. The California kid from Emerald Expositions, Morgan Wilson.
Wow.
I know. He seems to always be turning up at the right tables at dinner and the right foursomes at golf, doesn't he?
God. I have to get some tips from him. How does he do this?
Yeah, he's a power networking force in the industry right now, you can tell.
All right.
So congratulations to those first two teams. This year, the event, which is still the largest golf event in the fastener industry, at least that I know of, had somewhere north of 30 teams, so over 120 participants, which is very good.
That's terrific participation.
And of course, the winners all donated their prize money back into the scholarship fund. There was a successful silent auction and raffles, and all that cash went right into the scholarship fund. So a lot of people had fun. As far as I know, no carts or clubs went into the ponds, only lots of golf balls, according to Nancy.
Well, there would have been a lot more if you and I had been playing, okay?
True. Well, we know our limits. Now, here in the Midwest, all spring and early summer, we've had these torrential back-to-back downpours. So I guess the field was warned adamantly to keep the golf carts off of the grass. But of course, I think a few people might have, I won't say they ignored those instructions, but let's just say a few people had to get towed.
Okay.
So it's a golf association outing without a few snafus.
Well, they all had a lot of fun, and they had a beautiful day for it too. You know, given all the crappy weather we've had in Chicago, it was a great day.
Yeah, the last detail on the MWFA golf outing that we'll share, of course, you're on the edge of your seat, folks. The coveted FTR award this year went out to Brian Wheeler. And I tell you, Bri, the reasoning behind that, Rich Cavoto of Metric and Multi-Standard was the golf chairman this year, and he explained it to me. He said, well, you know, it's a little bit of a consolation for hitting second, but as most of you in the audience may know, Brian Wheeler is off to tie the knot in June, and it was kind of one of those pat on the backs from the fastener industry. Congratulations on your upcoming wedding.
Right. Well, I hope he likes Bush Light. Otherwise, he might be working out what to do with it.
Well, that's true, Bri, but the point really isn't to enjoy the Bush Light. That's if you're going to try to enjoy it, you're really missing the point of the whole prize.
I know. I was explaining that to someone at the show, and they could have said, why would you? I said, look, I've been told, I'm not a beer drinker, but I've been told that awful as it is, it's one of the few beers that you can actually drink when it's warm.
You got it right on the head. That's why fishermen love it. You take a 30-pack of Bush Light anywhere and drink it. It tastes the same and warm as it does cold.
Which is not that great, okay?
Man develops a powerful thirst out there in the links, Bri.
I can tell.
And on the water.
Yeah.
Well, I'm developing a powerful thirst right now for some Fastener news. What do you say?
Yeah, let's get to it.
Do the honors, please.
And now for news about screws that you can use. Here's Mike McNulty in the Fastener News Report.
Thanks, Brian and Eric. This is Mike McNulty from Fastener Technology International Magazine, bringing you the Fastener News Report, which is sponsored by Volt Industrial Plastics, makers of the world's finest plastic fasteners. So after missing the podcast last month while I was on the road for nearly a month to attend multiple trade shows, I am back in beautiful but cloudy Ohio in Fastener Technology International's headquarters, focused on fasteners and ready to deliver today's Fastener News Report. In this episode, Steve Andrasik, Brighton Best International Vice President, joins us to reveal the latest results of the Fastener Distributor Index, also known as the FDI. Also in today's broadcast, we have our top story on construction staple trade disputes, as well as newsmaker headlines from Motor City Industrial, Spiral, GL Hewitt, Rockford Fastener, Fastenal, Penn Engineering, Brighton Best, KPF, and more. On the back page report, we're going to talk about 3 fastener industry trade shows. We will get to all of that and the latest FDI results right after this.
There's a reason Volt Industrial Plastics is an industry leader in plastic clip, clamp, and custom fastener manufacturing. With over 100 million parts in stock that can be shipped the same day, Volt has some of the fastest lead times in the industry. Volt can do color. We have the capability of molding over 120 different materials and can color match for specific applications. You need it? We can build it. At Volt, we have state-of-the-art technology to build prototypes to customer specs. And although some companies provide similar products, we offer customer service that's second to none, setting us apart from our competition. And now available, Volt's new light-duty cable clamps. With maximum diameters ranging from 3/16 to a ½ inch, these clamps are ideal for hard-to-reach spaces, electronics, and finish work. They prevent corrosion with metal tubing, and with plastic tubing, they won't bind or warp, preventing leaks while maintaining the flow of liquids. Volt Industrial Plastics, the finest, fastest plastic fasteners in the world. Visit us at voltplastics.com.
At Brighton Best, we continue to expand our wide range of products, including stainless steel and metric fasteners. Our family of brands include Preferred, U.S. Anchor, and Ironclad Performance Wear. BBI has been a trusted partner since 1925. With award-winning hand tools, gloves, and drywall screws, BBI is the largest master distributor of fasteners in the USA. Tested, tried, and true. We are Brighton Best. To learn more about Brighton Best, visit brightonbest.com.
I don't have time to look for the best price for a socket head cap screw zinc plated with a patch.
Solution Man can. Let me handle all of your secondary processes, and I'll even ship the finished product. One price, one purchase order, one invoice, and one shipment equals one solution. Visit the Solution Industries website for details at solutionind.com.
Solution Man, you're my primary source for secondary processes.
Good one.
SOLUTION, SOLUTION. Solution Industry. We are Solution.
Mike McNulty.
The seasonally adjusted Fastener Distributor Index for May was 53.8, contracting 2 points versus April's 55.8 reading. Fastener Distributor Index data is collected and analyzed by the FCH Sourcing Network, the National Fastener Distributors Association, and Baird. The FDI seeks to identify demand, pricing, and outlook trends within the American fastener distribution industry. To get some insight on these results, we talked to Steve Andrasik, Vice President of Sales at Brighton Best International. Hi, Steve. Thanks for joining us on the Fastener News Report.
Thanks for having me, Mike. Good to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you could join us. I'll let the listeners know that you're at the NFDA annual meeting in Cincinnati, recording on location, and I'm in the north part of the state up near in the Cleveland-Akron area, so glad you could carve out some time for us.
Survived the earthquake yesterday.
Yeah, I heard about it, but I did not feel it. So I did read an interesting story that says the water level in Lake Erie is 30 inches higher than normal, so all that extra weight putting pressure on the bottom of the lake may have contributed to the earthquake. So I thought that was interesting. So anyway, so what do you think about these FDI results?
I think they're pretty predictable. I think they're pretty accurate. Interesting for me is the sales forecast, and that's nice to see it going up, and I would agree with it. You know, it looks strong, and I'm glad to see everybody having a positive outlook on that.
Yeah, I think to remind listeners is that anything over 50 is in the growth range, and if you've been going to the different shows and that like I have, and I know you have been, you hear these economists talking about we're in a slower growth stage, but it still is growth. That's the key word for me, at least. And we're about to set a record for the most consecutive years of growth, or the longest expansion in the history of the United States. So that's kind of interesting.
I think our distributors are seeing it. I think maybe they experienced a little bit slower sales in March, but it seems like it's come back. Certainly May and June have been real strong for us. And these days we cover a bunch of different markets. We're into the fastener market, of course, is our primary lines, but we also get into construction and safety these days. Construction with Preferred and safety with Ironclad. And those markets all seem strong.
Now, do those seem to go in sync with Fastener? Or is there one lead or leg on the other?
It's probably hard for me to tell you that right now. Some of that is, especially the Ironclad piece is pretty new for us. There's lots of new opportunity there. But yeah, no, I think it does go hand in hand. Although I would say that the construction piece seems like it's been the strongest. That seems to be, good, all over the country.
Oh, that's good to hear. And everywhere, anytime I go to a large city or that, I see lots of construction going on, even in the outskirts as well as in the downtown areas. So things are definitely happening. Moving on the report, it said the pricing index improved and inventory levels were mostly reported as in line with expectations or maybe on the high side. Any comments there?
I would say that, inventories may be a little bit higher, with all the tariffs and, some of the anti-dumping things going on out there. There might be people bringing in inventories that they may not, necessarily would normally not bring in, but maybe are bringing in now just to kind of maybe
the
get
higher
an edge.
tariffs.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So there might be some of that going on. I don't see it widespread, but I think that it could be some of that going on.
All right. Well, the interesting thing for me is that I'm looking forward. The forward-looking indicator dropped below 50 for the fourth time in the last 5 months, and also the 6-month outlook plunged to a low level compared to other months. This is a 6-month outlook, so that would put us right at the end of the year. And any commentary on that, or would you agree with that, or do you guys think that's maybe a little too cautious?
I think it's really cautious. I think, we've been doing this a long time, Mike, and it seems like, everybody, you don't expect to have long runs of good sales. And we've been in a good mode. It's been good for us for a while. So everybody's waiting for the shoe to drop. But honestly, I haven't seen it. I've not heard our customers talk about a big drop off in their business. And, certainly we haven't seen it day to day. So I think people are being very cautious, maybe cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, maybe overreacting a little to the proposed Mexican tariff that didn't come.
Yeah. Well, and, I think, there's some turmoil with our, inside of our own politics. So, I think maybe people are worried about what might happen there, but I don't know, from the business that we have and what I see every day, I don't see it dropping off like that. I feel like, because I'm just so used to, having a couple good months and then things falling off a little bit, but that hasn't been the case over the last couple of years. It's been very strong, and I don't see any reason it won't be.
I was reminded, somebody made a comment once about taking your eyes off of Washington and politics as well as other things like that because it's theater. And then, I try to look at what's going on in just day-to-day life, and it's totally different.
Sure.
Even random views, but you see, people out shopping and eating out and things like that, and construction and newer vehicles and stuff like that. It just seems like things are going pretty well on the reality side, but then sometimes they get spooked by something they hear in the news or going on in Washington. And
yeah, I think that's a great point. You're right. You're still waiting every on the weekend, 45 minutes to get a table, right? So
yeah, right.
People are busy. You go, I don't
Weeknights
see, I don't see, $3,500 rebates on cars any longer. I don't see those kinds of things. So It seems to me like things are pretty positive. So I guess that's where we're at. We're expecting business to continue to be strong. And like I say, we're able to see a few different markets these days, and those markets are still good. People are coming through. They're busy. They're looking for opportunities, and we're encouraged by it.
Yeah. Well, then maybe the commentary, the people, we had some comments here that were a little bit on the cautious side, which I'll go over some of these now. And this may have contributed to some people expecting lower activity at the end of the year versus now. But let's see, we had one distributor noted that customers are ordering for current needs due to tariff-related fears. You touched on that earlier. Another one noted that there's more irregular buying patterns compared to the first quarter. And then someone else said, I keep hearing about signs of a future downturn, but my backlog does not reflect it. Also the same thing you just said. And then somebody's expecting a mild recession. And then somebody noted that heavy truck was going pretty strong. That's interesting too.
Well, heavy truck seems to, that's great, but they, at least in my past experience with heavy truck, seems like it is very cyclical. It's strong, and they build a lot of chassis when the time's right, and then they lay off a little bit. But I don't know. I think the comments that people wrote in are good and accurate, but and expecting slowdown. But again, I haven't seen it in our daily business.
Yeah, and I've been to several economic presentations over the spring and now going into summer, and they're all saying the same thing, that we're not expecting any recession anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. So let's not talk ourselves into one, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. That's also part of the problem. But so I don't think it's going to happen right now. There are some other things down the road that could be problems with spending and demographics and things like that, but that's probably at least a decade away.
Well, I think our customers are looking for new opportunities. I think they're encouraged by the where business is right now. So
right. So if we can get people to keep pulling back on unnecessary regulations, pull back on unnecessary spending, and then that'll jumpstart things, in my opinion. Okay. Now, I mentioned that you're at the NFDA meeting. Anything that you want to report about the NFDA?
We're just getting started down here, but it's we've got a good crowd and good slate of meetings scheduled for the day, and I like these regional NFDA meetings. This one's in Cincinnati, and it's a great town for our business. So
the Queen City, right?
Yeah, and we've got some nice good distributor support, which is always hard to get and good when you have it.
Good to hear. So in closing, any want to bring us up to date on what's happening at Brighton Best International?
Well, there's always a lot going on at Brighton Best these days, but we just moved into a new facility in Cleveland, Ohio, a big new distribution center there, and
get some of that construction work going on.
There you go. It was great to see. It was great to see. We were shipping anchors to distributors, and you see them get shipped back to us. So it was really kind of an interesting thing.
Concrete,
yeah. So that was fun, and we're open for business. We had our open house about a month ago, so that was great. We're making a big push these days on weld fasteners and stainless products. So that's become a big focus for us. And of course, Ironclad, that's our newest acquisition and, one that we're putting a lot of effort into. It's a premium glove line. And
it's good looking products. I've seen them.
Yeah. And they've been around for about 25 years. So they've got a good name in the industry. And so it's been a nice sell.
Good. Well, it sounds good, and keep up the good work, and good luck at the show or the conference down there with the NFDA. And thanks for carving out the time and giving us your insights on the FDI. We look forward to talking to you down the road.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me on.
That was Steve Andrasik. He's the VP of Sales at Brighton Best International. The FDI number for May was 53.8 versus 55.8 the previous month. Visit FDIsurvey.com to participate in the process and get a detailed PDF copy of Baird's monthly analysis. Now for today's top story. The USA's largest staple manufacturer, Kyocera Senko Industrial Tools Incorporated, also known as Senko, has filed several petitions to stop China, Taiwan, and Korea from selling dumped and unfairly subsidized construction staples into the United States. Senko is asking the Department of Commerce and the International Trade Commission to impose duties on all three countries to offset unfair pricing, and it is also requesting additional duties against Chinese imports to offset unfair subsidies. Senko CEO Cliff Mentrop said, quote, "American manufacturers are getting hammered from all sides, and illegal trade practices are adding insult to injury. This filing is the first step in restoring fair competition to the U.S. market and confidence to U.S. workers and consumers. We look forward to seeing our trade laws enforced," unquote. The staples covered by Senko's petitions are used to build prefabricated houses, recreation vehicles, cabinets, modular homes, as well as on-site home construction applications. Today, Senko operates in a 500,000 square foot manufacturing and distribution facility in Cincinnati, Ohio, where over 700 types of collated fasteners are manufactured by over 400 employees. The petitions explain that imports have increased by over 20% in the last 3 years, and they calculate the dumping margins up to 123%. A preliminary determination on the matter is expected as early as July of 2019. Next up, today's Fastener Newsmaker headlines. In acquisition and expansion news, Motor City Industrial has announced the acquisition of Quality Fastener and Supply Company. Spiral has completed a manufacturing, laboratory, and office space expansion at its world headquarters in Connecticut. G.L. Hewitt opened a new technology center in Sidney, Nebraska. Park, Ohio has acquired EFCO Incorporated, which is doing business as Erie Press Systems. And Agrati CVB has expanded its plant in Italy by almost 6,000 square meters. In personnel news, Todd McRoberts is now the Director of Fastener Business North and South America at KPF Company Limited, also known as Korean Parts and Fasteners in South Korea. Nucor's Chief Digital Officer and Executive Vice President, R. Joseph Stratman, has retired after more than 29 years of service. Brian Stark has been promoted to Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Rockford Fastener. Ford Fastener Sales Manager Bob Dixon has retired after 42 years of service. Dorman has hired Scott Leff as Senior Vice President and Chief Human Resources Officer. ASTM International Committee on Fasteners F-16 presented its Award of Merit to Kevin Menke, Director of Engineering at Fastenal. Edward Martin has joined MSC Industrial Supply Company as Senior Vice President of Sales and Customer Success, and John Reeves is retiring from BTM Manufacturing after nearly 25 years of sales representation. In 2019 milestone and anniversary news, Rockford Fastener is celebrating 42 years of serving the distribution market. Fastenal now has more than 100,000 industrial vending machines in operation, with added vended sales expected to top $1 billion this year. And Agrati SPA is celebrating its 80th anniversary with 12 production plants, 5 logistics centers, and over 2,600 employees. In awards news, Penn Engineering's Penn Auto Division in China has been recognized as a 2018 Supplier of the Year award by Continental Brake Systems. The DPA Industrial Supplier of the Year is Brighton Best International's Ironclad Performance Wear. An MSC Industrial Supply Company has named Stanley Black & Decker as its Supplier of the Year. You can get details on all these stories and more in Fastener Technology International Magazine and the Fastener News Report newsletter, both available online at FastenerTech.com. Finally, let's turn to the back page to talk about 3 fastener industry trade shows. Over the elapsed time period of 24 calendar days, I traveled to Atlanta, Detroit, and Chicago to attend 3 fastener industry trade shows. Each had its strengths and weaknesses, and altogether, they helped me to sharpen my focus on fasteners. Here are my key takeaways on each event. The brand new International Fastener Manufacturing Expo, also known as IFME 2019 in Atlanta, featured some excellent exhibits of fastener making machinery and tooling from industry experts including Wafios, Reed, Trueform, Saspy, Kinefac, Harroslam, RMG, and more. The show was located with Interwire, which featured equally impressive wire and cable making equipment and tooling. Unfortunately, these events together and the Atlanta location did not attract many fastener manufacturers. So the exhibitors were not happy, and the people that could not make the trip missed a good showing of fastener-making products and innovations. The second annual Fastener Fair USA, staged in Detroit this time around, reported growth to nearly 2,300 attendees to see more than 260 exhibitors from 15 countries, as well as more than 25 education sessions presented in 2 open theaters on the show floor. I calculated that 59% of the exhibitors came from the USA, 31% from Asia, 6% from Europe, and the rest from Canada, Mexico, and other countries. Detroit was a great location inside and around the Cobo Center for this professionally produced show, which included a slick video that you can find online at www.fastenerfair.com/USA. It is called Fastener Fair TV, and it includes glimpses of Attica and Dymac inspection equipment, Ken forging and rotor clip fasteners, and a nice and serious look at one of your fully threaded radio hosts, Eric Dudas, sitting alongside several other fastener industry professionals. And finally, Fastener Tech 19 was staged for the 7th time over the last 12 years in its usual location of Rosemont, Illinois, near the Chicago O'Hare Airport. The area surrounding the Rosemont Convention Center continues to expand and improve, and the show once again provided an excellent regional and moderate cost opportunity for fastener industry suppliers, distributors, and makers to get together for business, education, and networking. The total number of exhibits and registrations were reduced this year due to the proximity and timing of Fastener Fair USA in Detroit, but it did not dampen the enthusiasm of the attendees. In addition to its usual features like the complimentary industry reception, education seminars, and a co-located surface finishing exhibition, show management added some nice free-of-charge touches, including product displays at the show entrance, an exhibitor lunch on day 1, an economic outlook presentation and breakfast on day 2, and an entertaining live rock band at the after-show party. Who says that the fastener industry is not exciting or active? This has been Mike McNulty of Fastener Technology International bringing you the Fastener News Report. Please send your news, pictures, comments, corrections, or complaints to me at McNulty@FastenerTech.com.
Get those glasses ready, because the drinking game resumes with more show floor interviews, this time from Fastener Tech 19. Right after Carmen Vertullo, How Long is Too Long for a Structural Bolt? It's the Fastener Training Minute on Fully Threaded Radio. Thanks for listening, everyone. BTM Manufacturing is a domestic ISO 9001 manufacturer of threaded fasteners and bent wire products. From anchor bolts to studs to U-bolts, BTM is committed to making your per-print special with the highest quality standards while meeting your on-time delivery schedule. Since BTM began in 1961, this family-owned business has remained focused on providing exceptional service to their customers. Centrally located in Kansas City, Missouri, BTM recently expanded into a 100,000 square foot facility, which allows for the production and manufacture of many projects simultaneously, both large and small quantity. BTM's website at btm-mfg.com allows you to submit custom quotes quickly and easily, and once you do, a BTM team member will contact you as soon as possible to discuss your needs. Are you ready to get started? BTM is. Visit www.btm-mfg.com today.
Hey mates, Brian Muscat. Regardless of the required size, material or finish, Eurolink has the European resources to meet your demands for hard-to-find metric fasteners. We're the one-stop source for all of your metric needs, saving you time and money searching for these parts while fulfilling all of your requirements. How do we do it? Eurolink offers access to more than 100,000 quality C-class parts with the ability to solve your toughest metric fastener supply issues every time. Hard-to-find metric fasteners? Delivered. Just think of us as your heavy metal rock stars. To learn more about how we can rock your world or request a hassle-free quote online, visit eurolinkfss.com. That's eurolinkfss.com.
Well, this is Carmen Vertullo with the Fastener Training Minute, coming to you from the Fastener Training Institute and AIM Testing Laboratory here in beautiful El Cajon, California. Today's topic has to do with one of my favorite types of fasteners, and that's the structural bolt. And the structural bolt business is a risky business to be in. It's one I often advise people to not dabble in. You have to be either all in or all out. But occasionally, there are some simple answers to some of the questions. And one of them came to me recently where one of our AIM Test Lab clients said this: I have a customer asking if there is a max allowable length for a 1.5-inch A490 bolt. They're asking for 1.5 by 18 inches, but not sure if this would be considered too long to fall under A490. Well, we're all used to structural bolts having very specific dimensional requirements that should not or cannot be violated. And those dimensional requirements come from a ASTM standard called B18.2.6, and it does not allow us to deviate very much. However, the other standards that cover structural bolts have something to say about this as well. And when we return, we'll tell you about how you can deviate from standard dimensional features when selling structural bolts.
Thanks, Carmen. This is Joe Morris with the Fastener Training Institute. This summer, FTI has a jam-packed schedule with Fastener classes for every level of employee. In July, the Fastener Training Institute is headed to beautiful Denver, Colorado to present Fastener Basics. This one-day class will cover basic terminology, hex head products, nuts, sockets, screw head styles, drives, plus much, much more. It's really the perfect class for anybody new to the industry or for those who just want to learn more about the products that they buy and sell. Then, on July 16th in Costa Mesa, California, FTI will present Dimensional and Material Specifications, instructed by Carmen Vertullo. This class is really a must for all of us working in the fastener industry. In the seminar, students will learn about specifications that you use and the ones that you need to learn more about. Then on July 19th, please join us for our webinar, Distributor Quality Assurance, an Intro to ISO and AS for Fastener Suppliers, presented again by Carmen Vertullo. Lastly, for a fourth year in a row, the Midwest Fastener Association is hosting our ever-popular Fastener Training Week in Chicago from August 19th through the 23rd. This class is going to fill up early. It sold out last year, so please register soon. And I want to add, there are scholarships available for Fastener Training Week seminars. The FCH Sourcing Network is hosting for the 6th year a scholarship for free tuition to any of our Fastener Training Weeks. For more information and for more information about our classes, please visit www.fastenertraining.org. Now back to Carmen for our Fastener Training Minute.
Well, welcome back, everybody. This is Carmen Vertullo with the Fastener Training Minute. Well, we posed a question regarding when we are asked to provide a structural bolt that does not meet the strict dimensional requirements of ASME B18.2.6. What are we to do? It used to be that, hey, it had to meet the spec or you could not sell it. Well, both the older standards that cover structural bolts from ASTM, the performance standards, that would be A325 and ASTM A490, had ways that we could deviate from the standard. And the new spec that replaces those, F3125, also allows us to deviate from the standard. So there are two ways that we might deviate. One way is having an extra long thread or more thread length than the structural bolt standard would typically provide. It's okay to do this, but when we do it, we have to add an additional mark to the head, and that would be a T. We put a T on the head, indicates we have longer thread. If we're going to do something else to the bolt, make it extra long, have some other dimensional deviation, we simply need to add an S to the marking on the head. And what that does is it lets an inspector who looks at the product know that if they see something odd, let's say too many threads sticking out the nut, which would indicate possibly that the nut has driven down against the shank instead of against the steel, they would realize, hey, this is a longer threaded bolt or a special bolt, so it may not necessarily meet the requirements of the dimensional specs. So those are sort of get-out-of-jail-free cards that a lot of folks don't know about. So don't hesitate when you have to use alternate dimensions or fully threaded or longer threaded length structural bolts to tell your customer how you can do that. And those come from supplements in F3125 called S1 for the fully threaded bolt or longer than normal threads, and alternate dimension supplement called S2. So remember the S and the T from F3125. You can help your customers get the structural bolts they need. Thanks for listening. This has been Carmen Vertullo with the Fastener Training Minute.
This is Rich from Metric and Multi, live at the Midwest FastenerTech show, and you're listening to Fully Threaded Radio.
So, Wayne Wishnew, you are the current president of the MWFA. This is the opening moments of FastenerTech. It's a very professional and sharp-looking show. Congratulations on getting this all together, and it's glad to finally talk to you on the podcast.
Thank you, Eric. It's good to be with you. I love your show. I can't take credit for the look of the show. It's all of our board members that are heavily involved and spend all the time doing this. I'm just the president, but they do all the work.
What are you expecting today? I see already quite a bit of traffic kind of forking off, some going here, some going right across from where we're located at this moment to the surfing show.
Well, I think it's good to have surfing with us because obviously metal finishing and fasteners go hand in hand. So we'll see some carryover from then, but I'm excited to see how many people have been through the door already so early.
Yeah, it's always a good thing if you can get off 294. So probably a lot of them are still out there, right?
I came the same way, and it was kind of a headache getting here, but we made it, and we're ready to go today.
So let's talk business for just a minute, because we want to definitely draw on your expertise. What's going on now? Let's take, say, this new 5% tariff. What's the world of Excel Screw look like 2 days after that announcement?
Well, for Mexico, it really doesn't affect Excel. Obviously, it affects the global economy, but it doesn't really affect Excel because we don't bring that much in from Mexico. But the 25% tariffs are certainly a big hit to the industry, not just Excel, and not only our industry, but all industries, because it's going to be passed down to the consumers. And, you read that, China is paying billions. Well, it's not China paying those tariffs/taxes. It's all of the American importers, and then it gets passed down to the consumer. So it's not really good for the economy or the fastener industry, but we'll see how it all shakes out. I mean, I understand what our administration is trying to do with, balancing trade, but I think there's better ways to go about doing it.
Well, you work with a lot of people overseas. Do you hear them reacting? Does it seem to be having any impact with what they're doing?
Well, they've slowed down a lot. I know it's affecting the steamship lines as well. They have blank sailings going on because there's not as much material being booked on these ships that are coming over. But the suppliers are just waiting for it to be settled. China's standing their ground, so I'm not sure what's going to happen or when it's going to happen, but we've definitely seen a slowdown both overseas and on the United States side.
Well, thanks for your thoughts on that. I tell you what, this is a great-looking show. You always look like one of the greatest dressed guys on the show floor. Today's no exception. I appreciate it, and let's get you on for a full segment one of these days soon.
I would love to do it. I love your show. I listen all the time, and I encourage everybody to do so. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. Wayne Wishnew, Excel Screw, and the MWFA.
I'm here with
Chris McCaffrey, R&D Fasteners.
And Chris is walking the show. Tell me why you're walking the show here.
Walking the show because this is FastenerTech 19, industry-driven show, grassroots, and I think it's important to be here and support it.
Super. Does your industry have to worry about the tariffs?
We do worry a bit about the tariffs, but it more affects our customer base and not us. We're a domestic manufacturer, so we haven't seen it quite yet.
Have your customers been complaining about the tariffs at all, or are they all understanding?
I think the feedback I've been getting from most people on that is it's temporary pain and that it will end at some point. So I don't hear a lot of pleasurable talk about the tariffs, but it's more, hey, if it's necessary and got to happen, it's probably going to be temporary and we'll get through the season of it.
Thanks for talking.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Cameron Dorsey, National Sales Manager at Beacon Fasteners and Components.
And Cameron, did I see you in Detroit? I did, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Actually, I was walking the show, partly because here at FastenerTech and the Fastener Fair USA, we're basically about 10 days apart, and it's just getting very difficult to do shows that close together. And it seems to be an industry trend that there are just so many activities that are scheduled right on top of each other. It's really getting tough for the regular exhibitors to do all these shows, and it gets expensive. So hopefully some of the leaders in our industry will see a way to condense these, maybe combine, do more collaboration together, and kind of help the suppliers who come to all these shows, not have to do so many, not have to be on the road this many times a year in such a small window of time.
Okay. What's happening? What's new over at Beacon? What's going on?
Oh, we're doing a lot of stuff. We've done some investment in some of our software applications, some bolt-on systems that are just going to help us run our company more efficiently and help our customers stay competitive or get ahead of their competition out there. We're investing in some product additions. Some we just brought on now. We're looking at more before the end of the year and working towards more services we can help our customers out with. Anything that we can do to make their daily life easier, we're willing to discuss. Continuous improvement is one of the models at Beacon, so anything that, even though we're doing well, there's an opportunity to do it better. We're always looking for that. So,
all right. It's great to talk to you today.
You too. Good seeing you. Enjoy the show.
Thank you.
Kurt
from
Brixton.
All right.
Stainless steel.
So let's talk tariffs.
Yeah, let's just come to a conclusion, please, on what we're doing, because it's kind of keeps everything in limbo. Yes. And we eat it on the front end to kind of offset it a little bit, but I just like them to make a decision one way or the other.
Are customers getting antsy?
No, I think they all understand, but everybody's just still waiting. What is it going to be, and when do we pass this on to the customers, or when do we absorb this, or when do we make it all go away, is really what I think everybody wants to know.
How about pricing? A lot of people mention that pricing's just a mess right now because of raising prices and then it stops.
Well, yeah, I think so, because you're dealing with the uncertainties of what's going on, and you don't want to continue to keep passing things on to customers when it's not necessarily real yet. And so you're at one end, you're eating the incoming, and then the stuff that's coming in obviously has that tariff built into it, so then the price gets raised up to match that. So it's hard. I think it just, once it all shakes out, it just comes back to normal, and we just get back to competing against one another. Until we find out whether we have to pass it on or whether we can absorb it is a big deal.
I know it's early in the show, but how do you think it's going right now?
Oh, I love the Rosemont show. I prefer the big show here, and a lot of customers, a good client base that we get to see face-to-face, so it works out really well.
Matt DeLauder from SWD.
Okay, and how's the show going?
The show's been great. Traffic's been busy, and we're looking forward to seeing No Direction at the after show on Wednesday, so make sure you make it there.
All right. Are you golfing?
We'll be golfing on Thursday, yes. Our foursome is planning on winning.
All right. That says it all. Yeah. Now, I know you don't have too many problems with the tariffs, but what is your big challenge over there at SWD?
We see a lot of automotive parts coming through our company at this point, and the auto market is starting to slow down, so we're a little concerned about that. In 2019, there were very few new vehicle launches. Now, the good news is in 2020, there have been a number of new vehicle launches that are going to take place starting this fall. So we're going to see a little bit of a lull, we expect, this summer, and then hopefully pick up as our customers have new parts on those vehicles.
I'm here with
Rich Cavoto from Metric and Multi.
And I missed you in Detroit. What's going on?
Well, we did the Fastener Fair in Cleveland last year, and it was a pretty good show. This year was a little bit too close to our show. I think it was about 10 days, 12 days apart, and we just didn't think it was feasible to do both shows. So we passed on that show to focus on the Midwest Fastener Association show.
And we know your heart's at Midwest Fastener Association, right?
Well, of course, being a Chicago boy that I am.
That is absolutely true. And that's where we are right now with the background noise that you hear from everything. Now, we could talk about tariffs because that's what everybody's talking about.
Well, it's definitely going to hurt. Everybody bringing the product in from China, it's going to hurt us a little bit. We kind of tried to swing things out of China a few months back when they put the first 10% on. So we're gearing up for it, and we should be ready when all the product starts coming in.
In Detroit, when I was doing interviews, they talked a lot about the domestic steel raising their prices. Have you experienced that?
Well, we don't get a whole lot of metric domestically. So some of the suppliers who sell metric here who import it, we did see some price increases over the last week, actually. So they'll probably fall right in line with everybody else with an increase in prices for the China products.
All right, and what is new over at Metric?
Well, we did add a new line of metric threaded rod in grade 10.9 and 12.9, 1 and 2 meter lengths up to 48 millimeters, and we also are bringing in 10.9 and 12.9 full thread studs from 8 millimeter diameter all the way up to 36 millimeter diameter in various different lengths. So that's all new and in stock, so we're hoping to get that moving pretty soon.
Business good?
Business is good. I think everybody had a really good 2018. Some people I talked to are kind of steady or a little few points behind last year. But overall, I think it's going to be a little slower, a little less business than 2018. So,
are you a gambling man? You want to predict the FDI on December 2019?
I'm going to say it's probably going to be down a little bit. I don't know the exact number where the range shoots. I know I'd get the emails and briefly look at it.
Below 50?
I think it's going to be right there. It's going to be real close to 50.
All right. We're going to find that out, see how close you were. Thank you for talking.
Thanks, Lynn. Appreciate it.
Rob Reynolds, InSequel Software.
How's the show?
So far, so good.
Now, I know you don't have to worry about tariffs, do you?
No, we are a software company. We do inventory management for our customers, and no, we ourselves don't have to deal with the tariffs. However, we have written certain functionality into the software that allows our customers to deal with the tariffs, and also gives them options while dealing with it, depending on how they want to price that out to their customers. Also, we're built to help them. Like our support teams, we've got quite a few people working to help them with it if they have questions on it. So,
sounds like the software to have.
Exactly.
I'm here with
Bob Bear of Abbott Interfast.
Bob. I don't remember seeing you in Detroit.
No, Detroit we passed this year.
All right. Any reason why?
Well, a number of reasons, actually. The first of which, they scheduled their show very close to the MWFA show, and being on the board and a longtime member, Abbott's been a longtime member of the MWFA, we obviously want to support our show, and we were disappointed with the date they choose, so we pretty much stayed away.
All right, you got to go where your heart's at, right?
Exactly, yeah. Two shows that close really don't work, and I think a lot of people had to pick and choose. It's unfortunate, but it happened. That's the way it is.
All right. How's the show going right now?
This morning has been good. There's been a lot of traffic. Hopefully it'll continue. Lunch, things always slow down a little bit during lunch, but the lunch break's over, and I still hear a lot of noise and a lot of people in the aisles, so excited about that. This year's show's combined with surfing, and so there's a lot of people coming through that attend the surfing show as well. So it's been good. It's been very good for us. We got a lot of great leads this morning.
So let's move to hot topics. And you know the hot topic in the industry is tariffs. What do you want to tell me about them?
Tariffs, wow. They come, they go, they grow. It's going to be interesting. I mean, right now the focus for us is Mexico. You know, that came out of left field. And while we don't import all that many goods to Mexico, we do send product down there that gets assembled and comes back, and I'm sure the tariffs will be attached to it on its way back if that actually comes to fruition.
I was talking to Ernest Industries, and they were also saying they had to worry about Brexit. Do you guys have to worry about Brexit?
No, Brexit has virtually no impact on us. We don't really do much, with Europe. The China impact, obviously, going from 10 to 25 has had a little impact. We do bring some product in, but our customers were well aware that was a possibility, and even though it's been put off for months, we educated them ahead of time, and so it's never easy, but it was smooth.
Let's say tariffs are off the hot topic list. They go away. What's the next big challenge for the industry, do you think?
Wow. Well, as I stand here today, having thought about all the shows going on, I think the hot topic in the industry is really for everybody to try to work together and consolidate and eliminate some of these shows. We should be focusing on business and becoming efficient and getting customers, and there's so many shows. You can't be at all of them. And I know it's probably a topic that's been discussed back and forth forever, but it's always on the agenda. Never goes away. Hopefully tariffs won't be the same.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. All right, how about a prediction for the December 2019 FDI?
December 2019 FDI, wow. I'm gonna go between 49 and 50. How's that? I think sometime this year we're gonna drop below the line. Not by much, but it's been headed in that direction. It bounced up, bounced down. But I do believe more than I did 2 months ago that we are headed for a little bit of a recession. And I'm going to go with 49 to 50, somewhere between there.
All right. Thanks for talking.
Thank you, Lynn.
Brian Christensen, South Holland Metal Finishing.
And Brian, what the hell are you doing over here?
I still like to work, and so I do part-time jobs whenever I can.
You retired after how many years?
35 in the industry and some other ones before then.
Oh, all right. So, and you just came to hang out with the Fastener buddies, huh?
Oh, you can't get it out of your blood.
Are you playing golf?
I will on Thursday. I haven't been able to lately because it's rained so much.
Well, that's true.
It's been raining everywhere, and so the golf courses are very tough to play. So.
All right. Good to see you, though.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm here with
Jake Davis, BTM Manufacturing.
And Jake, I don't remember seeing you in Detroit.
No, we weren't there. Just with Fastener Fair being as close to FastenerTech 2019. Been coming to FastenerTech with BTM the last two shows, 2015 and 2017. We get to see a lot of our customers in one place at one time. So, and MWFA does such a great job of giving back through scholarships and education. So, just important for us to continue to support that association.
All right, and how's the show going today?
It's pretty good. Just wrapped up lunch. Had that first 15, 30-minute kind of buzz of everybody kind of coming in, and we had the coffee going. U-Bolt blend coffee that we brought along with us and serving to everybody. So it's been good. So.
And we love your coffee. Now, you're never, ever going to be able not to give us coffee in the morning. You know that.
No, it's like I said, I added that in Vegas. Still trying to tweak it a little bit, but my goal is to have it at all the shows so people can have it. It's always a little bit more popular on day 2, the morning of. So I won't go into reasons why. But that aspect of it, it's just been fun. I just want to thank everybody for their support of it. You're helping out a coffee house that gives back in many different ways and has a touch on the Kansas City area through ministry, and so it just means a lot to us, and it's fun.
Okay, now let's get on to hot topics.
Sure.
All right, the hottest topic right now is tariffs.
Yeah, so, on the BTM side, the tariffs have been affecting our, on the raw material side of things. We've certainly seen pricing over the last 12 to 15 months go up. But business hasn't slowed down, so that's, a very positive side. It's challenging as well. But the aspect of, on the distribution side with ISCO, we've seen in the last, couple weeks, a lot of increases. The letters coming via email that are going to be affected by the tariffs. So, and that's just something where we have to sit back and evaluate, customer by customer, part by part, how we're going to handle that. So it's a challenge, but most people that are buying other products know about the tariffs, so we're not blindsiding them.
Let's say tariffs all go away, it's all resolved. What do you think the industry's next big challenge is going to be?
Oh, that's a good question.
There's some that have said raw materials.
Sure. I think we've seen that from the BTM side of things, from not so much of a shortage, but from an allocation. If we want, 500,000 pounds, they're giving us 250. And so we're having to kind of look elsewhere for that other 250. So I think that could be affected by it. I would love for it to go away, just for an industry standard. I understand it from a domestic standpoint. It's been good for BTM, but on the flip side, when you look at the fastener distribution industry, I think it hampers what we want to do. So, and it's really, to me, it's a bit of a tax, and we're penalizing ourselves. Smarter, I just have to rely on smarter people, and that doesn't always go hand in hand with government, but that aspect of it is kind of where I'm at on it.
Okay. All right, very last thing. Are you a betting man? Would you like to predict what the FDI will be in December?
In December. I would say anywhere from 51 to 52.5. I think it's going to be over 50, but I think it's going to contract a little bit in the third and fourth quarter.
All right, we'll see you in December. Thanks for talking.
Thank you.
George Hunt III, Brighton Best International.
All right, and George, we were both at both shows, Detroit and the MFDA. So what do you say?
I think both shows really had their own product niche, their own market that they really tried to focus on. I think Fastener Fair was more towards the automotive industry and really catering towards distributors and wholesalers alike that catered to automotive or MRO, OEM. And it was a good show. It was a really, really good show, and I think it was well attended. Today, we're at the Midwest Fastener Association, and I think the Midwest Fastener Association show is geared more toward their membership. It's a regional show. There are a lot of distributors here, and it's a good opportunity for distributors and wholesalers to see 50 to 100 prevalent distributors in the area, and I like the turnout. I'm really pleased about what's taking place today.
Is there a but somewhere in there? But
yeah, but it's the second show in 2 weeks, and that's concerning. It's concerning for the industry. It's concerning for the market. We really need to come together as an industry to figure out what makes sense for us as a whole. And I don't know if 900 shows in a calendar year helps our cause. I think what we need to do is we need to come together, associations, business people, and companies alike, to formulate a coalition, if you will, to try to understand better what works. And quite honestly, in this case, less is more.
Parker Fasteners is your premier cold heading manufacturer, forging the future with precision and quality as our top priority. When you think of domestically produced sockets and tamper-proof screws from alloy and stainless, including A286, think Parker Fasteners. Our lockout line of security fasteners feature high-torque, oval center pin design, and unique lobes that provide one-of-a-kind security for your customers. Our in-house 3D printing capability makes the prototyping process fast and affordable, and we're ready to produce your large or small run orders with highly competitive pricing and unbeatable lead times. So, forge the future with Parker Fasteners. Visit Parker Fasteners online today at parkerfasteners.com.
In this economy, I need to cut cost and freight, or I'll lose my customer.
Solution Man can. The more you order, the more you'll save. With free freight on orders over $1,000. See the Solution Industries website for details at solutionIND.com.
Solution Man, you're my fastener hero.
Just doing my job, ma'am.
SOLUTION, SOLUTION. Solution Industries. We are Solution.
First, there was fire. And man said, "Fire, good." Then there was the wheel. And man said, "Wheel, good." With the invention of the wheel came the need for fasteners, and man loudly exclaimed, "Buckeye, good." Buckeye Fasteners, providing quality products since the dawn of man. The preceding message was brought to you by Buckeye Fasteners and the Ohio Nut and Bolt Company, proud Fastener Show sponsors of Old Rusty Bolt Beer, official beer of the Traveling Salesman.
Tell them Grog sent you. Ugh.
Searching for a hard-to-locate or oddball industrial fastener item? Get out to the FCH sourcing network at FastenersClearinghouse.com. FCH is the search engine for hard-to-locate fastener items. Free to use, over 1.5 million fasteners. It's the FCH sourcing network. FastenersClearinghouse.com.
Hey, this is David with ND Industries. You're listening to Fully Threaded Radio.
And that's how it was at FastenerTech 19.
Right.
We got a lot done there, Bri, actually.
Yes, I know. I mean, a lot of customers that our existing customers we talked to, and didn't find quite as many people who had never heard of us actually this time, which is great positive. And one thing, when we're waiting for who got my badge, and I was just waiting for you to turn up so we could go into the show, I saw this guy wheeling a trolley. and the trolley had a whole lot of bottles of vodka and Bloody Mary mixed. And I thought, oh, what a way to start the show.
You mean this is at the convention center?
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought, oh, God, I hope they're coming into out, but they went into the surfing area.
Oh, I was going to say they were going to the Beacon booth.
No, I actually went there to see. It was, I thought, what a way to start a show, but it was not to be for us, okay?
Yeah, well, it's good for day 2 sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, when we walked into the lobby there, one thing that I was interested to see, the keynote speaker for Surfin was Harry Mosier, who we've had on the podcast a few times.
Right. Yeah, I saw his name. I thought, oh, he must be talking, and I realized it was at the surfing crowd.
Yeah, he's got to have a lot to say in today's environment of tariffs and so forth. Harry, of course, with the reshoring initiative. He's getting a lot of headlines. He continues to be a crusader for bringing manufacturing back to the U.S. There was another heavy hitter involved with the show this year, Bri, and that was Bill Strauss of the Chicago Fed. He gave a keynote presentation on the second day of FastenerTech. We had a chance to sit in on that. And then I was really glad to catch him in the aisle later. And, I send him the Fastener Distributor Index report every month. So it was good to get his ideas about it. And he does pay attention, Bri.
Wow, that's cool. And he should. Yeah, he was. I saw him walking around. He was looking just did a walk around the aisles. I mean, he doesn't have to. He could have just left the moment he gave his speech, but he took the time to walk up down the aisles and looking at the various displays and things. So he does have his pulse on the industry, and he gives a great. Well, how anyone can give a speech so packed full of figures and graphs and actually stay ahead of it is a miracle to me.
Well, those economists and bankers live a life just packed with statistics, and that's their reality. So if you can wade your way through some of that, sit through one of these presentations and come away with a little bit of understanding, I think you're probably the odd man in the fastener industry, but you did get the overall impression that however they're going to do it, they're going to hold things steady for the next few quarters. I mean, that was really my takeaway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my take was that those numbers he gave on Germany were that Germany is in a little trouble at the moment, and they're full of frightened it could drag the Eurozone into a recession, which I hadn't really been thinking of.
Well, the threat of a shaky European economy seems to loom periodically, and yes, that was included in his presentation. Seems like a fixture. Well, as always, lots to think about after you attend one of these conferences.
Oh, yeah.
Hope you enjoyed it, folks. We really owe a debt of gratitude to the lovely and talented Lynn Dempsey for scouring the show floor, speaking with many of you. I'd like to apologize to a few of you if you did not hear the interview that you did with Lynn. Well, we just had so much material this time that we couldn't use it all. But I think the stuff that we did get out there paints the picture of the conversation that we were hearing on the show floor. So once again, thanks to Lynn. Thanks to everybody who participated with her. Thanks also to Mike McNulty and Steve Andrasik for their review of the Fastener Distributor Index numbers. And of course, Mr. Marc Strandquist. Best wishes to him in whatever he finds himself doing on the next stop in his career.
Right.
The title sponsors of Fully Threaded Radio are Stelfast. For service you deserve and people you trust, it's still Stelfast. And Brighton Best International. Tested, tried, true. Brighton Best. Also sponsoring Fully Threaded Radio, Buckeye Fasteners, BTM Manufacturing, Eurolink Fastener Supply Service, Fastener Technology International, InSequel Software, the International Fastener Expo, that's the Vegas show, folks, Indie Industries, Parker Fasteners, The Worth Group, Volt Industrial Plastics, and Solution Industries, home of Solution Man. Get with us anytime, folks. We'd be quite glad to hear your comments, suggestions, questions, and so forth. The email address is ftr@fullythreaded.com, and the Twitter handle is fullythreaded. We did not mention it earlier in the podcast, but the Fastener Training Institute Scholarship Program is still open. The deadline to get your submission in is August 30th, 2019, I believe. The announcement of winners will take place at this year's International Fastener Expo. Get out to the Fastener Training Institute website for details on that. But essentially, all you need to do is complete a 300-word essay, send it off to ftr@fullythreaded.com. Explain to us why fastener training would improve your career in the situation your company finds itself in. You could find yourself with a full or partial tuition payment to Fastener Training Week.
Right, it's a pretty good prize, actually. And we've given away a few of them now, along with the Fastener Training Institute. It doesn't take that much effort, and it's really worth, if you know someone in your company who is a go-getter, you think they could benefit from this training, then convince them to write an essay, okay?
It's the 6th annual, and your submissions are welcome. So probably winding up the podcast today, as we said at the top of the show, if you took a drink every time the word tariff was uttered, you'd probably be feeling no pain about now, and you might need one of those Bloody Marys you were mentioning from earlier.
Oh, well, you certainly would tomorrow morning, okay?
Yeah. Went on LinkedIn to catch up on everything I'd missed while we were gone from our most recent excursion. Saw a headline fly by. Tower Fasteners posted up there about a story they placed on their website entitled, How the New Tariffs May Affect the Fastener Industry. So, of course, I took a glance because, like everyone else, I'm trying to really figure out what's the main message out of all this. And there's a lot of ambivalence, right? I mean, that's, I guess, the takeaway that I was feeling before reading this story. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, it sort of depends not which industry you're in, but in the fastener industry, the type of business you have, because some people are affected by these tariffs and other people say there has no effect on them at all. Depends if, I guess, you have long-term contracts and things like that. And I've spoken to a number of people, including some at the show, who said that they have no effect on them at all.
Yes. So people are perceiving it from different levels, and they're also involved in different sides of the business, doing different things, selling different products to different markets. And therefore, there's an array of feelings out there. A lot of people, I don't know if it's smugness, but they just kind of say, hey, I love tariffs because I get to raise my prices, which seems a little short-sighted, frankly, but I can see it, you know?
Right. But it's, you're just raising your prices to cover what the increases are. So, but in general, you may even end up making slightly more profit. There's lots of reasons why it's either good or bad.
Well, coming back to this article on towerfast.com, skipping to the last paragraph, part of the first sentence says, there is no way to know for certain how the new tariffs will impact our business in the fastener industry at large. ... So,
right.
Ambivalence sort of validated right there.
Yes. So what is that saying?
Exactly. Well, I mean, it's
nothing.
Good clickbait, if nothing else. But
right.
I think what it means is that there's just a lot here, and we're all in it for the ride.
Right. Well, let's hope it's not a roller coaster, okay?
Thanks for joining us on this Fastener Industry Ride, everybody. Hope you'll be back with us for the next episode of Fully Threaded Radio. You're heading off to Aussie now, Bryce, so you should have lots to talk about next time.
Right, and I will actually have stocked up on Vegemite too.
Ooh, is that a foreshadowing of Vegas?
I think so.
Oh, cliffhanger. I love it. Well, thanks again for listening, everybody, and safe flights to you, Mr. Musker.
Yeah, right.
For Brian Musker, this is Eric Dudas. Get out there, sell some screws, don't worry too much about the tariffs, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right. Until next time, folks.
Fully Threaded Radio is a production of Fastener's Clearinghouse. Music provided by Audionautics.
It still hits me, man. But you do the best you can. I'll tell you what, like everybody in the fastener industry has a bag of Cheetos or Doritos or something in their house with an Excel clip on it.
Yes.
Everybody.
Help yourself.
Everybody.
I know. That's why we got it.
Who doesn't need another one of these?